AVD, otherwise known as A Vendetta's Debt, is now officially released globally. Just finished up all of the IMDb sign-up information along with Film Freeway, which is where you released your movie, so it can be on film festivals. Film festivals kind of suck balls.
Film festivals
can
cost a lot of money.
You have almost zero. You've never been through the film festival
that's true.
yet, which is where you basically are paying $60 to $120 per submission.
Jeez.
And they give you really nothing. It's like, here's when we're going to finish selecting.
Do you know if you're even going to be involved?
I think film festivals are somewhat of you make a movie, the movie goes to a film festival, and I am wondering, I think the top ones are not. Film festivals are a scam.
Yeah.
But they're not, I don't think that, they're not a scam, but I would say there's maybe 5% that aren't. Like the actual ones that are growing a community, and if you can do well, like it'll get you. Like there's like the Cannes one.
Yeah, Sundance.
Sundance isn't even technically a film festival. Yeah. It's actually like it's
just an
actual
award.
Film festival.
Yeah.
It's not we can't submit to Sundance.
Well, just kidding.
Or there's the South by Southwest, which is in Texas. SW, that's the SW, that one.
Yeah.
In Texas. That there's a lot of like closed door ones from what I can tell that you can't get in unless you've had which makes sense. Like they don't just want anyone submitting
because
something.
then you'd have to go through so many, just filter through like 1,000, and half of them are just like a kid on an iPhone vlogging himself.
Yeah, but also like that's why there's the payment. I think there's the paywall, and then there's like it's a weird process, and it's like what does it matter? Like I think it's like you can go see a movie on the big screen. That's kind of what you're getting.
Now, I wonder why they don't just like, hey, you put yours in, it made it. Here's what you put back in.
Like you pay for it once
you
get
pay
in.
for it, but then if you get in, you get that back. Or like, here's $20 because we're gonna sell thousands of tickets to.
Oh, like $20 off. Well, it's the people watching it are people that are in the awards.
Yeah.
It's not like a free. I think you can get tickets, but it's weird. Yeah, they will make money, but also like if they're like $20 back if you get in, that sounds so scammy.
That does.
And not even scammy. That just sounds like that's not a cool thing for a business.
Here's $20.
Nikes, buy our shoes, we'll get you $20 off after you buy them. What? Why don't you just give me $20 off at the beginning? Doesn't that Kohl's? Is that you?
Yeah, Kohl's Cash?
Walmart, is that you? Walmart.
That's literally
Walmart,
what they
I know
do.
that's you.
Walmart,
I know
that's you.
So we finished AVD is what we've been calling it with the crew. You can't call it that.
Yeah, you are not part of the crew. You do not get to call it AVD.
Someone did say, former teammate of mine, check out AVD on his Instagram.
Did you make him take it down?
Thing, and I didn't make him take it down, but I was like, that's cool. AVD is somewhat of a saying. Submitted the poster. The poster for this one was, I think, cooler, and I am going to print it off. I have in that corner over there. You can see it. The big poster, the biggest one.
It's from when Luke went to New York.
Yeah, when I went, they made a handmade poster for me. It was a whole thing. I was like, guys, don't throw this poster at me. But I was never in New York, so that was an interesting story by me.
Yeah.
I was never there.
That's crazy.
It was actually a closing Joann's Fabric. We got Sam. I got Sam one.
Yeah, you got me one because I needed one for a poster.
And then I had two. We bought three. Technically, I bought four. One for Sam, and there's three that's slightly smaller, and then there's the big boy.
Oh, but don't forget the frames.
Oh.
The smaller frames.
I bought like 8 small letter frames for like $4 a frame. They're originally
Epic
like 20.
deal.
And I was like, ballin'.
And that's what who's that one guy that goes around to guess or
Gary
garage?
V?
Yeah,
I'm
Gary
literally
V.
Gary V.
I can sell these for a $16 profit on the market.
He's like, I'm up $1,000 today. No, you're not, Gary.
No one's buying it.
No one's buying that.
All right.
But I was doing, so reason behind those is I like framing the movie stuff. But we're getting a little off of the main idea, which is AVD. And A Vendetta's Debt was a huge process to make. Today we're going to cover talking about how it was made, struggles of making it, and a little bit about the future as well. Now, I know you're trying to get in hard. You've been trying to, you tried to be smooth, but you just failed 3 times in a row. So I'll smoothly say, You can read some of your questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I also okay.
So, this process was very long, and now it's done, and that kind of feels crazy. And I feel like people want to know some of these things, especially from the creators of the universe.
Are we the creators of the universe?
We're the creators of the universe.
Are you talking to me, or who are you talking to here?
I'm talking to everyone, including you.
Okay.
But referring to us
But I already knew
as,
it was hard, so
yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Maybe you're
I don't
just
know.
not even here.
I don't think you know who you're... I don't think Sam's been out of the podcast loop.
We've been out.
And threw you off.
Yeah.
You're just not as smooth, okay? Hey, I hate to break it to you. What are your questions? What do you want to ask your questions first, or do you want us to flow into it?
Let's just hit some questions.
Okay, you can hit some questions.
It's kind of a basic question, but I wanna let the people know, and I wanna know from you, what is your favorite scene from A Vendetta's Debt? Because there's got to be one.
And if you haven't seen it, link will be in the description. We are on a new channel right now, as you can probably notice. That's a business move. We'll dive into that at some point. But my favorite scene is either... And now I'm also going to be saying some of the other... We're going to have the cast on as well. A lot of people liked bottles. A lot of people... Empty bottles was their... A lot of the cast said that right after we watched the movie. And I was like, what? My favorite is Bat Barrage. Almost like... I'm like 99% sure it's Bat Barrage.
Yeah.
That was also one of the ones... That ending I shot, so that feels personal to me. So I really like that. Like, I was losing my mind when we were making that.
Okay, yeah. I think that has to be my favorite scene as well, because that one shot of against the car
flare.
where it's like flush with the car and it's got
that's going to be my tradition is the wide shot.
That light flare. Oh my gosh.
It was so sweet.
That was so
lens flare.
Yeah.
Ugh. Actually, I don't think there is a technical term. Lens. Because the light doesn't flare for us unless we squint.
Yeah.
The lens flares it. Technically, is that... So that would be... What's your least favorite scene? My least favorite's...
Probably the beach, the boxes, moving boxes.
It actually turned out cool. But I cut all the actual parts that were supposed to be
I think
there. It could have been a lot better.
Yeah, that's why it's my least favorite.
Well, that's where we had the most difficulty.
Yeah.
Or that's when we, like, uncovered the dirt.
Yeah.
Of, like, what was... Because that was the most going on, the most people.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with so many different things.
Yeah. And then I just, in my mind, there's so much that could have gone better, and...
What could have gone better for you? Well, give some background of what was going on. Yeah. And we've already talked about it, so I want to hear your perspective of the whole thing.
Yeah. So that day we had filmed previously technically the opening scene if you're going in linear order.
And we'll talk about what the linear order of the movie is as well.
Yeah. So we had filmed the scene at the cafe, and that had gone really well. And then we had kind of a 2-hour break before we filmed the scene down at the beach where...
Well, we shot at 6. We ended at like 12.
So I guess it was more...
Yeah, it was a long...
Yeah.
Because we went from early morning to night. Remember, we had... Because remember, Adrian came back with us, and we were just like... And then he had time to go home for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had like 4 hours of... In between, more like 5. It was a long... We had a lot of it.
There was a long break before. So then we went and we met up with Kamari, Bryce, Jacob, Tyler. Adrian was down there for... Was Adrian there for the entirety of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
he came with us, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then
so
Zach came.
Zach came, who is Wise Worries.
Zach Polk, a.k.a. WW, a.k.a. Wise Worries.
A.k.a.
He wanted to just come hang out on set, which I think that threw not a huge roadblock, but that was not, I think you were not thinking that it was going to be that long.
Yeah.
At least that's what it felt. Because at this point, so originally, AVD was going to be... there's a lot of process between... Yeah. Originally, it was going to be Sam's gangster movie. Did you originally plan to write it the day before we started shooting?
No.
Was it just a delay thing?
Yeah.
Okay. That's at least a good that you weren't planning the night before, because I'd be like, that's a crazy thing to do. Originally, Sam was going to write it, and then by the time we had spring break open, and that's when everyone could film for a week, and we needed a week to film this. So then I was like, Sam, I'll help you write. And then I ended up just removing and changing everything completely because there's a lot. You were writing 2 stories. One was funny and one made sense. And then all of the characters had different names in every scene.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of, I think you had it was more of your ideas were down.
Yeah.
At least that's what I don't know if maybe you were at a story, maybe it was going somewhere. But when I read it, it was pretty dead in the water. There was like there was like Godfather jokes. Like some characters were called the God. Like it was because originally I think we were going to do it a funny. I don't know. Did you ever have an idea that you wanted to do, or is it kind of a bunch? Because it was a process where I was like, throw this in there. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
It felt very like patchy. It was like, here's a story. Here's another story. Here's another story. Because even you were like, oh, I don't know where it's not done. I don't have a plan for it But originally it was going to be Sam's, and this is going to be your first. We are going to treat it as like a Suka movie, but also your first short film.
Yeah.
Which is a bold thing to do. And then you had time where maybe in another reality you do finalize it, that you write for like 6 hours the night of instead of being sick.
Yeah.
Which was the hot chip stomach where you just told me, you're like, I can't. I was like, don't worry, I'll finish this. And then, because we shot Monday, right?
Yeah, we started shooting Monday. Or no, Tuesday. We started shooting Tuesday.
Monday was the last where we sent the script out. Because I stayed up almost all night, and that morning I worked on it to finish the 14-page. It was at 6 pages scrambled. It's like tons of space. So I bumped in a ton. And I think originally there was the cafe scene. That's what we kept, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But then we ended up moving cafe locations because the chairs weren't there. Which that was scary the first day.
Yeah,
too.
that was.
But Tosi's worked out. I think that was honestly better.
Yeah, Tosi's was cooler. It had cooler colors in there.
And that's where my dad shot a film a long time ago at the Tosi's. Same location, dialogue back and forth at those chairs. So that was kind of a cool thing to remember. But I'm getting a little long here, but this is why you're here, the podcast, to hear the ins and outs of what's going on. So then it became our thing, but Sam was still going to direct and shoot, and I was an actor. You were in the movie of Stanley, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, everything was done Monday then. Because we didn't go. It was pretty finished. I will say I am proud of myself for finishing.
Oh, yeah. You crushed that, and you wrote it very quickly.
But also there was a lot. We had a lot of back and forth, which I don't give you enough credit for, of slowly. Like, it was written in one day, but it was also, like, we went back and forth on ideas for a long time of, like, I like this in Pulp Fiction. It was basically, I like this in Pulp Fiction and Glorious Bastards. Yeah. I was like, I like the bat scene. I want to stick a cigarette in your eye, and I want to do a briefcase thing. Yeah. And that's what in the movie. If you're wondering what's in the briefcase, we can't tell you.
Yeah, you have to figure that out on your own. That is up to you to find out.
And honestly, I'm not telling you. Did you just think I was going to tell you?
Did you think he was going to tell you didn't know? We know.
Well, okay. So there was really in the briefcase. Come on, really? Really?
All right.
Come on.
In the briefcase, there was something that really, it told the story, and it was just, really?
You just got trolled. Come on, really? Yeah, come on.
Come
really?
on, that's
really
embarrassing for you.
You really think we're gonna give you that crown jewels? No, we're not. We're just not gonna. It was like a lot of ideas, and then what I was saying, it was kind of a roadblock while we were filming. The morning was smooth. And now looking back at the morning, was there things and when you were watching the movie you wish you would have done differently?
I think that there could have been a little more coverage and then also directing on people's like expressions while they were talking, because some of the dialogue couldn't be used because of like people are smiling when they're supposed to be angry.
Because I guess you haven't seen the rough, right?
Yeah, no.
You've only seen the final, right? We haven't looked at it yet.
No.
I guess you've just heard what I've said of like we couldn't use.
Yeah.
So I guess it's probably more easier if I say it because I edited it, so I saw what went on. Yeah, I think you're right. Coverage. Well, this was also technically. I guess I hate saying that your first project was because where do you put your grandparents' project? Do you count that as your project or just a family thing you did?
I think I just, at this point, count it as a family thing. Yeah. Because I wouldn't try to put it anywhere.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any of the frames anywhere or anything. because we kind of we talked about, and we'll get into this more too, about like really it's a lot to ask to film a huge action thriller with little experience, like having experience, but the experience of like this needs to be really polished.
Yeah.
From the start of pressing record to end, everything needs to be, because there also was a lot of like shaky, or I think we should have used a tripod the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of shakiness, which stabilizer can only help. We use stabilizer on Final Cut Pro, and it's also on like Premiere, whatever you use. And it sometimes will, if it's too shaky, it'll shake the image.
Yeah.
So there was like little, but those are all nitpicky things. And on top of that, having to direct, which I don't feel like directing is something that falls on you normally.
Yeah.
At least when we've talked about, like when you do school assignments, you'll be like, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Yeah, I feel like it's different when we're together.
And creative stuff. And it's like a lot of those guys, I guess. So you and me know Adrian the same amount.
Yeah.
And Noah the same. Well, you know Noah a little more, right?
Yeah.
But Kamari and Bryce, I've known forever.
Mm-hmm.
I even started talking to Trevor at the beginning for a little bit, or would see him at games and stuff. Now I would say we're at the same Fly.
Oh, wow, I'm literally like
I'm literally just a dog. Fly. So we had them. Then Tyler and Jacob I knew from school too. And obviously you know your dad. So nope, don't know who he is.
Don't know him.
So it is a little bit hard. Like it would be easier because that was your first time meeting Kamari, then, right?
Yeah, first time meeting Kamari.
And
really
Bryce.
hadn't talked to Bryce. I'd seen him.
Yeah, but that was like
Never
your
had,
first
like,
time talking to
with him.
Bryce. So that is like the dynamic of it's a lot harder to be like you need to be way more upset.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you ever thought like, oh, I'm gonna go easy on him. It was just more like having fun shooting, because there is a lot of pressure to make it look really good.
Yeah.
Like you could really get nitpicky, like, oh, first scenes were shaky and it was super bright or something. Like, obviously we can do a lot better on those things. But then going into the night, I feel like I almost feel like you were a different person at night than you were in the morning as a filmmaker. Like, I feel like in the morning you were way more directive, and maybe this is, we've talked about when, like, I'm like, hey, why haven't you stayed up editing late? You're like, oh, I would just do it in the morning. Are you better in the morning or night when it comes to work?
I think that I don't know that I would connect those dots to that, because I think...
Or what do you think the problem was for you then that night?
That night? I don't know. I think it was just, there was so much going on that I was just getting scattered, and then... I don't know. I would not blame it on it being nighttime.
You're like a tired thing?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was tired.
Because it wasn't even that late.
No.
It was like 6 to 9. And we're kind of beating around the bush, but basically, like, there was no storytelling at all in the camera, or like a lot of stuff. Like, we didn't even light ourselves. Like, the lighting was weird, and then we actually had to go back and shoot because we didn't capture the other thing. So there's a little disconnect. We also pre-planned the other scene a lot more, which I think going in the future, doing like, hey, shooting, this is exactly what it needs to look like here. And that is, in my mind, it's a weird relationship, a director working with a cinematographer. Because in my mind, the director is telling this, but I feel like it's almost like, hey, this is what's, focus on this, then move to this. We need so much more smooth movement in our movies. Yeah. Going forward, and saying like, all right, I really want a wide of this. Now you just go find the wide shot. Yeah. Like that. Which I think that would be helpful. Because after that, we talked a lot after. And yeah, because that is, I mean, Zach coming, having someone on set. Yeah. Everyone, like, we're hanging out. Like, actors just hang out when they're not filming. Yeah. I mean, so being able to be like, hey, come here. Or even like something going forward. Because at this point, it was still your thing completely. Yeah. And it was like, I helped write. And I really was I was like, if Sam doesn't want us ready for the scene, I'm assuming he's getting something ready. Maybe if I would have been more helpful on, like, I don't feel like I was less helpful, but I never did anything that was like, all right, guys, let's get going. Let's figure this out, because I didn't want to overstep you. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, and I really thought I wish in that scene I had said, hey, guys, let's just run through the scene. Let's just
do the scene. I don't want to film it right now. I just want to practice the scene and just kind of get in the right headspace for it. There was no real, like, forethought going into the scene. It was a lot of just, or not a lot. It was just like, all right, this is what the scene needs to be. Now, film it before it gets too dark.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because we had a lot of time we were a little bit waiting for it to get dark. Maybe it was more of like a lack of vision thing or something. Not lack of vision actually, but like the vision of what it looks like in your head versus my head. But we shot almost all the scenes. Hitch's Bat Barrage was completely improv.
Yeah.
I mean, it was written, and it looks, to me, the movie looks almost identical to how it was written. Even though the beach, we didn't do the best, I think it turned out really cool.
Yeah.
So I really liked your wide shot of when they were taking out the boxes and me sitting. So the 3 shots we used are 3 really cool shots that you got.
Yeah, but it's not a lot of
coverage. But the other
3
40
shots.
are are gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if we could have had maybe a couple of and then the ones where they're up top, that reveal in my head was going to be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see before it was 30-mile-per-hour wind.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was when we went back to film again, the beach shot. So the problem was we couldn't see me throwing the briefcase. So I'm holding the briefcase, and that signifies that this is a gift, and I'm saying I don't want the gift. Now, I should have written something. This is a huge lack on my part of the things I wanted to change. There's 2 huge things that stand out to me that I should have written. First is, I'm not taking this gift from Marcellus. I want to kill all of them. They all need to die. This is it. They've done stuff forever. They've done stuff in the past. Leo's my friend. They're going to die tomorrow. And so then it goes to us playing the bottles. That's how I end it. Then I throw it away. I wish I'd have written in that, and maybe we could have realized this while we were filming or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like 95% writing issue, 5% we could have figured it
Probably
out.
Probably more we could have figured it out as we were going.
Yeah, but
also we were filming out of order, so it's harder when
to think about it.
You're not like, okay, this just happened last time we were filming. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. It was more like, this is the start. This is the final scene. This is a middle scene.
Yeah,
it's all
it wasn't
over the
linear.
place. Yeah.
And then the second was, and we tried dubbing this over, but it didn't sound right at all, was, I don't want anyone, Marcel's is talking to me, I don't want anyone to die. Like, I'm like, hey, it's fine, it's fine. I have a I have a baptism tomorrow. That line did not work. It was I could not think of an improv line to say I have a baptism.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to die. I got a baptism tomorrow. It's just like, that's just thrown in there.
Yeah.
I needed like, maybe in the beach scene even, that's a lot of exposition where he's like, are you going to the baptism tomorrow? Or are you going to do like something at the church?
Yeah.
So you know why I'm at the church, not just I think you can infer, he's just going to church to get baptized.
Mm-hmm.
I think you kind of infer that, but maybe clearly having the like, I'm going to get baptized to him. So those things stood out to me. Was there any big things that stood out to you?
I was about to
questions
say.
You had?
I was gonna say more things that I think this is a good time to like dive into things we wish we would have done better.
Well, we could finish. We've talked about day 1.
Yeah.
We could just go through the days.
Yeah, let's just,
we just covered day 1.
All right, so day 2
Day 2 was Bat Barrage, right? Yeah.
I thought that was the last day.
Very last day was church.
Oh, yeah. So
day before that was Reggie's place.
Yeah, so on day 2 we filmed inside the house, down in the basement, and out in the yard. So those 3, all those 3 scenes were...
That was Wednesday, or that was Thursday.
When we filmed in the
Thursday
basement?
was Reggie's place. Reggie's place, basement, that was that day.
Oh, yeah.
We did all that stuff that day. That was just the night with Trevor.
The second day was us at the like parking lot with Trevor and Noah, or Hitch and Leo.
Yep.
And so...
And Bryce and Kamari and Adrian were there as well.
Yeah.
Just because everyone wanted to watch this scene.
It was awesome. One thing that was super fun.
We told them it was going to be an awesome
One thing that was
watch.
super fun is everyone was together, and just that's something that's super fun in film and just in creating things, is there's just such a community, and people get so close during like filming because so much is going on, and you really need to get close or it's just going to be awkward the entire time, and you're like touching these people, like actually as actors you're like getting in each other's faces as people
emotional.
You don't know.
Yeah, we've definitely become good friends with everyone.
Like, I mean, over this like past month that we've been done with filming. We've still seen all those guys, and we've talked to all of them still. And it's been, I think that we got closer to each one of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, even doing things like went to my girlfriend's soccer game because they have a couple. They're Trevor and Bryce's girlfriend play on the same team. So like going as a group, like hanging out there was. Missed you, Adrian, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say. Adrian,
we missed you.
Walgreens was calling, we know, but we missed you.
We were calling too.
Yeah, we were calling. Just decide who matters more. That's all.
Yeah. But that, I mean, before for Bad Barrage, we were really trying to say, I was trying to tell everyone, this is the thing. Yeah. You're going to hit someone with the bat. That's how we were promoting.
I think everyone was... Fly.
I'm telling you.
Fly again. Whoa, go away.
But it was like, that's so cool to see, like, oh my, when I saw that in Inglourious Basterds, I was like, this is happening in our movie. I am going to watch someone hit someone else with the bat.
Yeah.
And it's going to be epic.
Yeah. I mean, going into that day, I knew that was going to be so sweet.
And it rained.
Oh, and when it rained, at first I was like, oh no, it's raining. And then I saw that shot and I was like, it's raining.
Another wide. Those are, I think the wide...
I do like
shot. Those were
the wide shots are so sexy.
Which I will give myself credit in doing is I will make sure it's a tripod shot while I'm shooting. I feel like I've learned that overdoing, especially over Stu.
Yeah,
I learned that handheld is super risky sometimes.
Yeah, and you're doing handheld and manual focus, which is even harder.
Oh yeah, well I guess that's true. We didn't do manual focus.
Yeah.
We used the Canon M50, which is not a good camera for cinema at all. It's considered like a starter camera.
It's considered a very it's a very good camera for vlogging. That is what it's meant for. It's a vlog camera.
Like capture what's going on, but some of the frames, all of the Hitch's Bat Barrage was on the Canon M50 wide lens.
It did. At least I was shocked that it did that well in the freaking low light situations. I was very surprised.
Well, and I know you know this too, but just a quick refresher of low lights, how far you can bump the ISO.
Yeah.
I didn't mess with the ISO. I kept it at like 1,000 or lower.
Wow.
Because I like the darkness of it. That's why it looks good in low light. Technically, anything can look good in low light when it's not boosted. It's how good can it look while it's going up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to your point, it still did look. And a lot of the reason is we used a grain overlay to emulate film.
Mm-hmm.
You can't notice the grain of the M50 when we're overlaying the other grain because it blends in.
Yeah.
Which is huge. If you look in Bat Barrage, you can see a lot of grain in the top left and right corners because of, like, it's the rain and the darkness. Like, we were pushing it a little bit. So, yes, the low light was still super good in the rain and in that low light situation. And it's also a dark scene.
Yeah, I loved that scene so much. And one thing that was, we kind of gotten off the topic of going to day to day, but that day started around, when did we start filming? Like 4? 3 or 4?
It was pretty late. It was 5. It was 5 or 6.
No, but I had to get the truck and then do that entire scene, which was like an hour and a half.
I know we were looking that, but I know what you're saying. We didn't have, it was not 3 though. That would mean we shot
true.
3 to 11.
Yeah.
We ended at 11.
Yeah, you're right.
I know it was pitch black while we were filming the final
5.
The truck
it was
scene.
5. I'm almost positive I remember writing 5.
Yeah, because
call sheets.
And that's another thing if we're looking at things to get better, where like the in the car hitch shots are, if you notice, and it kind of again works to your favor. It blurs in and out.
Yeah.
Because you forgot to hold and spam autofocus or manual it. Probably because you're using the kit lens to get that wide, I'm guessing. But if you look, you gave one 11-second clip in the car with Noah going in and out of focus.
Oh.
So if you notice, I'm reusing that shot of the 5 seconds of focus time you got.
Oh.
And when he goes, like hits.
Oh, yeah.
So there's only that. And then another little thing is, and now we've talked and communicated to get this fixed is Fly.
This Fly is hounding me.
He is. Maybe he's trying to tell you something.
Maybe I'm stinky.
So before it starts, Sam hits go and then yells action and then plays it. And the second the scene's over, he ends it. So
so we talked about this.
When he's driving, action! So we can't get the full audio fade. Then he goes, the second it ends, gone. Perfectly. That was good. Awesome wide shot. But if you look, we had no room to work with at all in the edit. So it was like, thank God it
Wait, which wide shot?
There was the one where he drove the car away and then drove it back. They're both start and stopped with your action at the beginning and ended with right away, which was, they looked cool. And a lot of people were wondering if you placed that bottle there.
I did.
Okay, I've been telling people I didn't know because I didn't ask you about it.
I planted that. Now,
but if you also look, so if this is the frame right here, first the fire hydrant's right here, and if you look again, in the next scene, it's like this. Yeah. And the other one, which I was like, ha. But they won't know, and I'll notice that. Yeah. And you did a good job, the wide shot of the truck pulling out. I like that. If you know, I did. So the camera didn't make that flare at all. That was
Wait, which flare? Which flare?
The car backing up when he yells, he pulls in and does the reverse. You know when he pulls in and it has a flare over it? Oh, yeah. And the lighting, I was frame by frame keyframing and had a light bar over it. So that stuff can look really cool with that lens effect.
Oh, yeah.
So that shot looked cool, but when you add rain in the lens, it really brings... Yeah. And I want to say, wow, that's disgusting.
I wouldn't have noticed, honestly. It just sounded like you hiccuped or something.
Screw everyone. I used an orange and teal LUT. Everyone says, I don't know if you've gotten into this. Everyone's like, don't use an orange and teal LUT. It's basic. It's stupid. I used it. Screw everyone. I don't care about it.
No one would have known.
No, it looks... I use it in stew, too. Yeah. I use it, and then I turn it down to 75%.
Here's what I'll say. Everyone is so pretentious when it comes to those things. Like,
you
don't use the kit lens. Don't use the kit lens. We use the kit lens. It looks awesome in scenes.
Because it's about what's going on.
Yeah, it's about trying to get what looks good. Not... The equipment does matter, and it will change a dramatic amount. But if you are using it correctly, and if you are thinking about it, you can do just as much as, I mean, obviously there's limitations, but you can still get something that looks so crazy good with the kit lens or an M50. I mean, and then people are like, oh, don't use this LUT. Don't use these effects.
It's not that. If you're playing that game,
unless
you are
going
to lose the film.
Cube effect.
Yeah.
There's the Star Wars scroll down.
Yeah. In film, you can't use this. You can't use this camera. That is not how it works. If you are struggling on what LUT to use, what camera to use, you are Steven Spielberg has a quote of him saying, go out and shoot with an iPhone. Yeah. Just go out with a phone and shoot.
There's so many directors that just say, go out and shoot something.
Cole Bennett, Lyrical Lemonade, makes videos on iPhone half the time to prove that the fact that it's about what you're making, it's not about how many pixels you have.
And also, the iPhone camera is insane.
Now the iPhones are catching up enough where it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But even if using our camcorder or something, which I think that would be such a cool thing to try, shooting all on camcorder.
If you haven't watched La Perla Run, give that a watch.
That's a big camera.
It was almost shot entirely on the camcorder.
Yep.
And it's just so fun to play with that because you get that zoom in.
Oh, and
40 times zoom
Future
in.
of Entertainment.
Yeah, and Future of Entertainment also was on camcorder.
We're a sucker for the camcorder.
Yeah, when the camcorder's out, we're using that 99%
We need two of them
the
so we can each have one.
They're only $100. Yeah, so at some point.
But yeah, kit lens, it doesn't matter. We use the kit lens for every single wide shot. An action shot was the kit lens. Mm-hmm. Every single punch and every single hit was the wide. Now, yes, the Sigma 35 is kind of insane. Yeah. It does give you that when you're focusing on people, it does give you that blur on the background. Like on close-ups, it's needed to have.
Yeah.
You shot the first day at Tosi's. You used the kit lens, did you?
I almost entirely used the 35.
Until you did the wide shot, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't even remember switching into the kit.
At one point, I did hand you the kit lens.
I think I only used the kit lens twice because I knew I wanted to mostly use the 35 that day.
Yeah, you didn't ever use really the kit lens, I don't think at all.
I used it in the car, all the car scenes. I will say, car scenes, when you're in there, it's so hard to stay still because you are bouncing around.
Yeah, which
and
is
there's
why
no. I'm like, I literally. So one scene that wasn't in it was Adrian or Marcellus is driving the car. I guess I won't reveal it completely, but he's driving a car, and and I literally had to.
Those were super stable, but it didn't make sense.
No, but no. The spot between the seat and the dash. I crawled into it, and I was like scrunched in and down.
That worked. That really worked.
It's just so tight.
The truck's very bouncy as well. Yeah. But maybe if we would have brought in a tripod, or
I tried using a tripod. There's just no room, and
maybe
it was too close.
And then maybe that's when you take the innovation and say, okay, we're gonna try something else or whatever.
Yeah. Bless you. So yeah, I mean, I think that obviously there's a lot we could have done better. I'm proud of how it turned out, and I think that is a lot of credit to the editing. So I am proud of how it turned out. And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
we'll jump to this next day, but again with Sam. So Sam like almost exclusively used the Canon 35 millimeter because he used this. So he's basically gravitated to this the whole time. Even when we were at the church scene, so at first you were trying to get this super wide shot with the 35, and I was like, okay, I'm literally wide shots I'm obsessed over. Like I'm always trying to get the widest we can, which I think helps because you can see what's going on a lot. Like my favorite shot you got is your wide shot of them eating or talking. I like that shot a lot. Any wide shot. I think
that's one of my favorite shots because of the color.
A lot of young filmmakers never do wide shots.
Yeah, that's one thing is I can't think of someone. Obviously, people do cut-ins and like get close and do close-ups. Almost every big director uses wide shots and long wide shots.
Yeah, which that's like if that's maybe another area. Looking for you, it's having the long wide shot.
Yeah.
Like, what if we would have had a long wide shot of Kamari walking in, talking to Adrian, and having their dialogue A to B good? Because that was very spliced.
Yeah.
And obviously new actors, but also like what could have we done to propel them? So day 3 was we were smoking in Sam's basement, his grandparents' basement. That was hilarious. And I won't reveal what Sam and I talked about before. So yeah, we were shooting downstairs. Getting everyone ready. It was that was like a 9, 10-ish, right?
Yeah, we started.
We got together.
But we got together at 9. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
We got together at 9 to start planning everything. There was a ton of stuff to set up. We went and smoked a couple cigarettes and had a cup of coffee to start the morning. I'm just kidding. We did not do
smoke
that. No.
There's
not been a single cigarette or any nicotine
used after.
What's the word? Not inhaled. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of the word. Puffed.
So we shot this scene in the morning. It was super fun. I in the corner set up the punch wide shot and you getting, because you were figuring out how to get the cigarette in your eye, which you did an amazing job.
Then I got the cigarette actually in my eye because I didn't realize it was tobacco leaves that would fall out, and I hit it in my eye and I was like, ah!
So Sam doesn't get enough credit for his acting at all. I mean, I don't think we just don't get enough credit in general, probably because we're younger, and I don't think we've done enough to even deserve that credit yet.
Yeah.
But I want people to notice, like, him taking the punch and putting the cigarette in the eye. Me setting up the camera to make it look, that does help. But Sam freaking out and holding it in his eye and getting hit super hard like that is the reason it looks good. So having Sam get hit in the eye and playing that off is why the scene works out.
We've talked about this, not me getting hit, but we've talked about our acting.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to trash on or like insult anyone that was one of our actors. You all did incredible, and we are so thankful that you were part of it. Luke and I are our best actors. And it sounds very conceited.
But nothing against our actors. But Sam and I have also
we've been our own actors for 4 years.
So long.
So we have each other
People
in our
will
mind.
Watch us and they're like, "You guys, wow, that was good." And
that is one thing. We get a ton of. Okay, I'm like just blowing us here, but we get so many compliments on your guys' chemistry is insane.
Yeah.
Like on the podcast and on set, everyone was like,
"It's like, oh, we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, we've been working together,
and we talk like this off together. The podcast too, playing."
Well, when we were kids, we were playing,
and still.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, like Sam and I, looking back, maybe our next movie, either we have actors that are doing this as our main guys, or we are the main people. But it's hard to film. I mean, we have the liberty of if one of us is in the scene. Now, how in the world, originally when we wrote it, we were like, let's put Sam as a side character so you can have all the focus on these. But as we learned and we're like, let's create this together, figure it out, it'll be easier. Certain aspects we know we don't need to share it to everyone. We can keep that's more personal. But, maybe we write who's Stanley the character is a little more to allow.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow, if we could have had Stanley.
Because I will say, Stanley would have been one of the most
hated.
One of the most hated, but also one of the most explored characters, because his entire idea was Stanley was Reggie's cousin that really wanted to be exactly what Reggie was.
Yeah, which
and like the way
you kind of came up with this idea.
Yeah, I mean,
you're like, I want to be the rich snob.
Yeah, so like how it was Reggie. Something you will notice, maybe you won't, but Reggie and Stanley are dressed very similarly. And the idea behind that was Stanley was trying to be like Reggie, because Reggie's like the big boss and he's like got all this respect, and Stanley wants to be like him. And I think
origin film?
Oh, my dad said something and it pissed me off in the moment, but now that I hear it and think about it a little more, I was like, yeah, that is true. He said, we didn't really know anything about the characters. And you can't really do that in a short film quick.
Yeah.
But character development builds such a universe around the film and sets you up so much better. Like if Leo was in the film for 20 minutes and then
he got killed? Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking about. Like, what if someone gives us money for a full feature?
Yeah, exactly.
Because in a short film, you cannot.
No.
If you do that, that's a thing I agree with completely. But there also is a positive it's like this.
Yes, that is true.
Like,
retention.
I was engaged the entire time. Like,
let's call it engagement. I don't like retention.
Engaged, hit. Okay, flashy, cool, interesting, flashy. Character development, almost
none.
Zero.
I mean,
there's zero.
Yeah, there's none.
Maybe you could argue.
I can't think of like if we know anything about the characters.
Maybe the character development.
Maybe
the
in
smallest
bottles.
would be I learned myself. Maybe you learn that we're friends. Maybe that's a character. That scene is for character development and it works.
True.
But maybe at the end saying Reggie was a hothead. Maybe earlier like at the beginning of the movie we learn why Reggie's a hothead.
Or Reggie's going to a bar and like he walks out, someone bumps him.
Yeah, like fights
and he
him
shoots him or something.
Yeah, something
crazy off the bat.
And something in a full feature.
Excuse you.
Sorry.
The prime coming back up right now?
It's like so deep in my throat.
I couldn't not laugh at that.
I know I set you up for that. Would be the poker scene.
Yes, we talked about
Why'd you take my money?
I think that would have been such an awesome scene.
I think in the winter we could try to get someone to pay money to produce.
I think we could do just a poker game. Just a movie on a poker game.
Maybe. Oh my gosh. Have you seen Hateful Eight?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The whole movie takes place in one place. The whole movie takes place in the poker room. While it's going on, we get flashbacks. We cut to them doing work. How we each character knows each other for a different reason. Yeah. We find out why each character hates each other. Oh, and it's all about that. And then, come on with something.
Yeah.
That's an idea right there.
I mean, right there. Poker movie. One thing that I really want to dive into. This is kind of a curveball.
Well, wait. Can you hold it so we can
hold
finish our day?
Yeah.
Because we're almost on an hour. We're at 46. Let's just finish our AVD days.
Sorry, if you didn't hear that, I just hit myself in the nuts. And screamed.
I want to hear this so bad, but I also want to finish us off on here in case people are wondering. Go ahead with that. So we kept filming, did our scene of Sam and I punching each other, did all of that. Maybe that's also my character. Definitely was the most developed character.
Oh, easily. Well, he's got the most screen time, and he's kind of like he is the main character.
And I would like even when I'm talking to you a little bit, you can kind of or Marcellus, you can tell I'm like a smart. Like I'm always making fun of whoever.
You're a smug guy.
I'm a smug guy named Reggie.
Why'd you turn like Irish?
I'm a smug guy named Reggie.
Now you're an anime character.
I'm Keanu now.
Oh, Keanu, yeah.
And so we did
day
that.
Day 3.
No, not yet. We're on day 3. So.
Yeah. I guess we never really did talk about day 2. We
did. Bat Barrage.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about what it was.
Yeah, we were filming the whole time. Yeah. It was super fun. Something to go jump back to Bat Barrage day 2. That's the name of the scores. I was very proud of that. The name. I love the names. If anyone else doesn't, I don't care.
It is.
I spend ungodly amounts. I'm going to call it what
entire soundtrack is on Spotify and Apple
YouTube,
Music and YouTube.
Amazon, it's everywhere.
So
that's by Leo Wall. You'll see him on here at some point.
It's kind of insane look and see. Okay, a soundtrack of ours is, or I guess not ours, but
with the logo.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels insane. So definitely go give that a listen. Give Leo some support because Leo's incredibly talented and he put his heart and soul into that soundtrack. So if you have 20 minutes or just while you're working,
it's actually so fun to listen to.
I mean, my favorite, Empty Bottles.
Yeah, I listen to that almost every time I'm in the car.
Oh, me too. Epic.
So yeah, definitely check out him and the movie. But so it was really fun. We just kept saying Noah has this super big energy to him all the time.
I wish we had used that more.
And he threw that into, and we'll talk about this with the actors too, and dive more into each of their scenes. But Noah just came at
everyone
with the
was
bat.
Shocked.
He was like scream, curse. He was like, "Come here, give me." We're all like, "This is awesome." He made those scenes. So I feel like the wide shots help, but again, the acting is why. That intensity is why.
Yeah.
That is so epic.
I remember the first time we pressed record and I yelled action. I remember him coming around that corner and I was like, he's probably going to pin him up really quick and maybe throw a fake punch. Because I kind of just said to him, I need you to pin him up against the door and then just take him out whichever way you want. And I did say punch him, but I did not expect the level of commitment that he gave. He punched the door.
Oh, yeah.
He literally was like, oh. And I looked at his fist and it was bleeding. He punched the door when he punched him into the wall or into the door, he punched the door.
Oh, he scared Trevor too.
He scared all of us.
Which is huge. To have that
came in with such aggressive energy. I was like, wow. I think that if we got a budget, not to say we wouldn't use everyone, but I would 1,000% want him in a super aggressive bodyguard type role.
Yeah, okay. And honestly, he could even play Hitch again.
Yeah, I mean,
he could be, because I think we have, and he's also the oldest, and he's also already has that energy to him during whatever's going on.
And he's a big guy, he's strong.
Yeah, not saying no one else is, or we wouldn't want anyone else, or at all, but saying it's hard to find people that can show that level of energy and aggression.
I don't know that I've seen that before from anyone we've worked with.
No, that was
nuts.
That's the moment I knew. I was like, if I can make this look good, he's going to give me the best I can find. And this is the best. This is what I want. I don't want anyone else.
Even when his entire thing was aggression and being all in his face. But we really didn't show that much in once he pulls up in the car. But he gives good dialogue too.
Oh,
it was aggressive and it was loud and fast.
Really good improv.
Yeah, that as well. But I mean, he portrayed it. He wasn't saying the lines. It felt like he was actually. He felt like he was Hitch, and I think he killed that. And not to say anyone else didn't.
Yeah, but maybe we could doing something in the future like Noah. We would really love to have you in this again.
Yeah.
And especially, I want to work with every single person.
Oh, yeah.
They're
all awesome.
I've already been talking. Every single person, I'm like, you should work with us again.
Yeah.
You please, come on.
Oh, every time.
And everyone's like, you're convincing me.
Yeah. It's
I'm I know.
We're ratting them in.
Not even. We're just including.
We're just inviting.
Inviting and including. We're like, we're rats. Then the final day, we're at the church.
Yeah. So, wait. Yeah. Last day is church.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can talk about, so we're doing the killing scenes. Now, this is
think we don't.
There's another writing flaw. Oh, yeah, I guess you don't know.
We don't really want to touch on it too much.
Here, if you're to this point, you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie at this point, here's spoilers.
Yeah. Please go watch the movie.
So you can get the twist and the feeling.
Or stop watching if you don't have time to watch the movie and maybe come back and then watch the movie then come back.
Jacob should be talking to Marcellus as he leaves the door, and he should not be sleeping. There's another writing thing. It doesn't make sense why if they have a tip while he's sleeping. No, I just ruined that for you.
That is. But I didn't picture it as the same timing because that's a night and then the other's a day. So he wouldn't be getting unless
all the killings happened the same day Marcellus left.
No. I'm saying I didn't think he'd be getting that call at the same time that he would be running away from the house.
Oh, he doesn't.
Yeah. So wait. What are you saying?
I'm saying when Jacob is getting ready to lay down, why is he laying down in the middle of the day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is one. Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense. So there's a huge flaw on my part because I shot that as well and didn't even direct that right. And I was on top of it the whole I feel like on where it should go. And I completely that fell through completely.
But I don't think anyone
No one's caught that at all.
It.
And no one's even figured that out yet or realized it's the middle of the day and it looks like night technically or whatever. They just see someone's getting shot and it's emotional. So that's a big flaw there. At least I feel like it is. There shouldn't be any holes. Everything should be filled. Wow. Okay. I need a little reel today.
You looked at me like this. Filled. You looked at me like that.
Okay, so yeah, that doesn't make sense. And I wish I would have had Adrian do the run at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. I kind of told him kind of like sneak run.
Mm-hmm.
And he did like a sneak run.
It looks a little Twinkie. And if you don't know what that means, don't look it up. Maybe.
Don't look it up. Sam will get us in trouble. But he was running, and I think I could have made him run with more urgency. Kind of. And also, you can there's a little things like while he's driving in the church, I was going to edit this, you can see the water bottles.
I saw that.
No one else catches any of this stuff, obviously.
But we're watching, I've watched it about 50 times. I mean, I literally have it
on
my big monitor.
I watched it twice this morning.
On my big monitor, I've got it looped, going just constantly. And
That's
I'm like,
epic.
It just helps to look back and because I can remember what I shot and all right, this didn't get used. And I'm trying to okay, this is probably why I didn't.
I think we should really have you just watch all of the footage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll also maybe, and not saying you don't, and I think you've done more appreciating than you even should about editing, but then you can look and be like, okay, there is a ton of little tricks.
Yeah.
I'm tricking everyone the whole time what you're seeing.
Yeah.
It is not, if we shot this on a film camera.
Oh my gosh.
It's not, we couldn't.
Yeah.
There's so many little things duplicated, filled, zoomed, cropped that are we're definitely getting better. And this for me is my second, for you, your first.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like all my shots, I've improved a lot from Stu, and I feel like your next thing you do will be a super improved from this. And we've also talked about taking more time to learn your own style and I really think, I honestly feel like it's just backing up and using a tripod.
Yeah.
Those are the two things.
Those are the best shots.
Could do the craziest stuff. But we were at the church with Sam's dad. Met a guy apparently ran the streets of Germany.
Who we are going to have on the podcast at some point. We've talked about it. But he's agreed to it, and we are going to have him on, and it's going to just contain the most incredible stories ever, and I already know that.
But he let us use the church.
He was just the coolest guy. He was so laid back. I figured we wouldn't be able to move anything. He'd probably watch us the entire time. No. We walk in, and he's like, "Hey guys,
move whatever you want."
And he's like, "Yeah," and we're like, "Is it okay if we move this maybe?" And he's like, "I'm gonna leave. You can move whatever."
We were there till late.
We were there for 4 or 5 hours.
We locked it down, cleaned it up, got it perfect. And that was really fun. Bryce and Adrian. Adrian is in the scene. Bryce was there because we were using his car. You're past the spoiler point. So Adrian rolls up in the car because he got the tip. The whole thing is he got the tip that something bad's going to happen. He was right. He stole the car. The ending. I felt somewhat mixed reactions on him shooting me at the end. A lot of people don't want my character to die and want to see me kill Marcellus because they know Leo and I were friends. Yeah. So that part worked. Yeah. They're upset that I died, which
but
is
I think
good.
we should have probably shown more because you were supposed to be.
The second watch, it makes so much sense to them.
Okay.
Everyone is. It's not an issue on the writing side.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying we probably should have showed more that you're because you were supposed to be
more relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed, but more more seeking revenge because we show it, but I feel like
that's maybe why when we talk about at the beach, I need to kill him, so you know why I'm upset. I want to kill everyone. I'm going to the baptism,
super hot-headed.
Hey, I need to go to this baptism. I'm not going to be in trouble with this. You guys,
I'm going to this baptism because I know what I'm doing is
wrong.
evil.
Yeah, and all of you guys need to do this for me.
Yeah.
And I'll pray for you, whatever needs to be said for it. And then I'm going. I need you to pick me. You two need to pick me up.
Yeah.
I'll see your car and I'll come out.
And that's another thing. I mean, there's tons of little things that
which are hard for a short film.
Yeah. Because if we wanted to make it like a feature, we could have expanded on those things and had more character development, had this and had that, and had the poker scene, and had all of this stuff that would make it a feature film. And we have to remember, it's a short film.
Yeah, it's more about showing some fun.
Not using that dialogue as much.
And it wasn't even a conscious, like, let's leave that.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't even know.
Yeah.
It's also a one-day script, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some flaws there. I do think I managed to dodge a lot of holes, and this is a very good first non-linear story.
Yes.
Because every person I've watched it with says, I need to watch that again to see what happened.
Except my mom.
What did she say?
She just didn't care.
She didn't want to. She didn't care about it.
No. Linda.
She didn't. She really said she didn't care.
She didn't say that in as many words.
What'd she say?
Linda, I'm gonna put you on blast here. So I come down and I'm like, Mom, are you ready to watch it? At 8:10, and or no, it was later. It was like 9:05. So it had been out for like
after
an hour.
Our text strings.
Yes, it had been out for an hour, and I'm like,
wait, you went to the store with Adrian. We called.
That was at 10.
Okay, so you went.
So at 9, I go downstairs and I go, Mom, do you want to watch it? And she goes, Honey, this show is on right now, and I can watch your thing anytime, but I can only watch this now. And I was like, okay.
Dagger.
And my dad even looked up at me and goes, I'm like, okay. And I just walk back upstairs and I go, what the heck? I'm going up the stairs and go, what in the world?
Pain. That's.
And then I watch it with her, and she just is laughing at like stuff, and I'm like,
that it could have been an uncomfortable.
I think it was, but also didn't like it.
Oh yeah, I don't like the uncomfortable because a lot of girls do the uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah.
So I watched it with the Conways, my girlfriend's parents, and Mr. Conway was like, so he already knows movies really well. And finally, the end of the baptism, that was good. We finished. Yeah. I mean, if we dive into it,
let's just say, we had been waiting for rain for an hour and a half, and we're like, please let it rain, please. And we are tossing water with water bottles onto
filling it up in the
water
drinking fountain, pouring it on the roof,
going to the bathroom, filling it up,
like pouring it on the
car, pouring it on the ground.
Sam and I are having a blast.
Oh, we're like basically having a water fight, except not getting each other. We're like, just like
there's two boys pouring water.
It was, and then it starts like sprinkling, and I'm like, oh sweet, it'll sprinkle. Rain pouring, and I'm like, yes, because it looked so cool in the end. I think that's one of my favorite shots is.
But also, that's my shot. I told you to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you were gonna go on the other side and weren't gonna go deep, and I was like, do it here.
Yeah.
Please. Because the reason was I was upset in the baptism. If you look, the shots you got of my face and your dad in the baptism are really overexposed and close. Like your dad has we make him look super big.
Yeah.
And if you look, we gave him a triple chin because of the camera was so below. And then on me, it had like a shadow. So those are the rush things. But I was like, this is the end. And you still made it look sweet at the end and did the final framing. But I guess that's where we'd work together. Hey, let's do it deep, wide here.
Yeah.
You set it up and get that money shot. You put it in the right spot. So I feel like that was at least a co. I have to give it.
Yeah. No, I was not taking ownership of that shot. I was just saying
it
was one of my favorite shots.
Okay, I just had to let everyone know just in case. I think, and I wanted to tell you, I thought that was a good way and then maybe we should have used a tripod when it was the car dialogue because I remember. Did we ever?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in the car. That was a tripod.
If you look, the very end's a tripod because you move the camera at the start and the end.
Oh, you're right.
I don't think you ever did. It wasn't even a mono.
I didn't do any
you dropped
handheld.
Your hand completely. Like the camera literally falls to your hand. It's not a monopod. Like you walk away with it and stuff.
Oh.
It was like this. I saw you too while we were filming. You did this. I remember you were leaning on the brick wall. Then you grabbed the mono at the end.
Yeah.
For when we did the when you're in the door.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. You definitely had that because that was on a swivel and it was set. So maybe it still I thought looked cool and you had the awesome idea to have the light on. No one turns on a light like that, but you turned the light on. So that shot looked cool, but maybe having that's like a tripod. Maybe or wider because it more looks like a vlog.
Yeah.
The close handheld looks like a vlog.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe that's what you're gravitating towards because the only experience is vlogs. So,
yeah.
Or like run and gun. But also, I think it looked cool, and that wide shot was sweet. So those are cool. But going back, so I was watching with the Conways, and Mr. Conway is this is my girlfriend's parents, they're huge movie. Mrs. Conway loves gangster movies and watches everything.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about it, and she just is like,
huge.
I love gangster. And this is like, awesome.
I know. It's like not a lot of moms say that.
Yeah,
it's
no.
like, cool mom.
And I was like, Goodfellas? And she's like,
yeah.
Love it. And I was like,
she's seen Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
That's her mannerism, too. Love it. So she's a big gangster movie, and Mr. Conway is big on just all movies. They both are. They watch movies all the time. They knew it was nonlinear and started connecting the dots once it goes, and they both said, I need to rewatch that, so now knowing what I know at the end.
Mom, why couldn't you react?
I know. They give the best reactions ever. They're like clapping. They're like, oh my gosh, during the punches.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Connor's like, that actually made me pretty uncomfortable watching some of those action scenes. He's like, that really felt like you were sticking into Sam's eye and all these things. And they were like, they were even saying, they were like casually like saying, like, I noticed this. And he's like, yeah, I'll send you some texts about, because I always ask him like criticism stuff. He's like, I'll let you know what I thought, some other things. But they were very impressed by Mrs. Conway. Loved the score, Leo. So that was a huge. Yeah. Everyone loved it. It felt really.
I don't
powerful.
know anyone that's gone.
The music's just really bad. It really bum.
Oh yeah.
Bum.
It all has a very heavy bass line, which is
I love that.
It makes it hit a lot harder. In my mind.
It was really cool. Leo did an awesome job. Just with everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone did everything incredibly.
Yeah, obviously
we could have done things better,
but yeah.
And in the future we will. And
I mean, it's doing really well.
761 views as last I checked.
Yeah, which is that's like within an hour. So it's doing amazing. We're going to talk about it with the cast and more. Yeah, we're on the Suka Podcast channel. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Suka Podcast channel. This is going to be the home for all podcast needs, except for the clips.
You're the niche community. If you're to this point, I will send you a free Vendettas debt shirt. You need to text me about it.
Yeah. This is your chance to get a free shirt.
Thank you for watching. Suka Babes, we will see you next week, 7 a.m.